we're going to have a production meeting before each round on the phone or Zoom. Hey race fans, it's the start of a brand new decade, so don't be on the outside looking in. Straddle the technology fence with us and be part of all the action at every round of the 2020 season. With our all-new app, you'll now have live global streaming of all the action from the heart of each and every track. Live scoring, race highlights, replays, results and team and driver news. Everything you could ever want to be informed of the world of Trans Am and SVRA. Download now on Apple and Android, the only place to get your muscle car media.
Everywhere I look, I see light and shape. And some shapes are just more beautiful than others.
I think about lots of things when I drive. The cost of scheduled maintenance certainly isn't one of them.
The F-Pace.
How Jaguar makes an SUV.
For great offers, visit your Jaguar retailer during the Impeccable Timing sales event.
Maui Jim sunglasses were born on the beaches of Hawaii, designed to respond to the bright sun and harsh glare of the islands, all while enhancing the view. After 30 years, we're still independently owned, and the free-thinking Hawaiian spirit that first inspired us is still a part of everything we do. Our Polarized Plus 2 lenses not only protect eyes from harmful rays, they also make colors more vivid and contrast crisper. Try on a pair and see for yourself. The view's better from here.
A marathon coach owner is someone who expects exploration and relaxation to blend flawlessly. For the most reliable, luxurious motor coach on the market today, look no further than Marathon Coach. Indulge that wanderlust, leave any cares behind, and lead a life filled with adventure. Join the Marathon family and take your 5-star hotel with you.
When the finish line calls, we answer. Hit the road with insurance protection from Hagerty. Whether you drive a built racer, sports car, or exotic, and save an average of $264. Get a quote today at Hagerty.com.
There's a challenging spirit within Honda. It gives us the courage to go faster and the thinking to make it real. Whether it looks like a truck, a sedan, or an SUV, inside is the heart of a race car.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Mid-Ohio Racecourse. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, as they say here in the United States of America. I'm Jonathan Green, and welcome to our coverage of SVRA and our coverage of the Speed Tour. Alongside me, Ben Sissel, as we look down high above in these beautiful drone shots. A little bit muggy this morning, but it's certainly not anywhere like yesterday where we had a lot of rain, and we are about to see the Lola, mainly Lola, but there are other manufacturers, S2000s or S2s, as Ben has quite rightly informed me. We had a good day out yesterday with these guys. They're rolling up for a rolling start as they come through the carousel. Looking forward to this, and we're about to get underway. Everybody 2 by 2, and the roar goes up, and away they go. If you weren't with us yesterday, this Mid-Ohio course is almost as though it was designed for these cars. They love it here. And Ben, you know, we basically got Ford Pinto engines. They're not very powerful, but when you consider the power to weight ratio, these are missiles. Oh, no! Oh. Big moment, big moment. And that was scary. I tell you, that's going to be the most scary thing in motor racing, when you are eyes wide open, effectively watching everybody fly by you and hoping and praying that everybody misses you. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, wonderful shots above, giving you a real sense of the gaps that are being created in these races. And you can see battles going on throughout the groups. Let's talk a little bit about yesterday. We had some good racing. These guys, everybody's been in action now, and everybody's more dialed in. When we arrived at the start of the weekend, the argument was, or say the argument, the chat was, that there was a very green track. Yes.
I want to point out right now, number 94, Graham Edelman, is in front of Rob Sherwood. Graham is a great driver. He races a little bit of everything that Rob does on the inside. Coming down through number 5, Rob Sherwood from St. Louis, Missouri. Graham Edelman actually driving what I think is his son Owen Edelman's car in the number 94. But we were talking about this, you know, people consider this in today's racing kind of a spec class because all the cars are set up the same. But we have Carbier, Lola, Swift, Shrike, Van Diemen, March, Duran, and Tiga all in this class. So think of a spec racing class, or, you know, in NASCAR they have 3 manufacturers, Indy 1 or 2. Here we have like 7 or 8 manufacturers in one race in what we would consider a spec class.
Yeah, and like I said, 150 brake horsepower, 2-liter engine, and about 1,000 pounds frame. So really not a heavy car at all, and that gives it its real chance to power to weight ratio. They can reach at about 150 miles an hour. So these are not an easy thing to hold on to if you get it wrong, as we've already seen.
Yeah, I think, you know, there's so many different personalities in our vintage racing paddock, and I think these guys would say you don't need more than 150 horsepower to really have a great race car.
No, I would agree with that. And Ben Sinnott, once again, as he was at the front last time out in his T91, ahead of Henry Payne the 5th. Rob Sherwood in 3rd place at the moment, then Graham Adelman, Thomas Kane, and Brent Knoll.
This is a colorful class. Look at this great shot from turn 1, whereas they're coming up here, number 96, coming into the keyhole, or is that 95?
Yeah, 95. Yeah.
These cars, even though they kind of have the same body style with that big snorkel on top for the air intake into the carburetors, I love the paint schemes that some of these guys add to it. It really adds to the lines of these cars.
Yeah, we did a little chat with the paints, and they kind of took the bodywork off so we can get a close look at it. It's fairly rudimentary. I don't mean that rudely, I just mean it in a good way. It's a giant go-kart.
Yeah, it is. They are set up a lot like a race car, and, you know, they don't take offense to that. When you ask these guys about their class, they usually say, I'm racing a big go-kart, and that's what it is, because it's all about the racing for these guys, and there's really, really close wheel-to-wheel racing in this class.
Yeah, this class, as we said, the S2000, not to be confused with the Honda S2000. Thanks to Honda, one of our sponsors, of course, but they have a very famous S2000 car. This is the S2000 sports category car, originally an SCA, developed for the SCCA, and it's basically one of the most competitive amateur racing classes there is. And like I said, essentially, the main car used is the Lola. You mentioned the others, and very similar to the Formula Ford, Formula Renault, Formula Mazda, depending on the spec. It's been a great learning ground for young drivers with professional ambitions. And I think if you can get your head around this, as we're seeing many youngsters, including the Paynes, you can go on to bigger and better afterwards if you get your head around this.
Yeah, I've always been a firm believer. If you can drive a momentum car fast, you can drive anything fast.
That's a good point, yeah.
And the great thing about this, too, with some of our guys that are just really into the racing side of it, is if something does happen, the parts are available, the body work doesn't cost that much, it's just a lot of fiberglass, and then there's such a tight community of these S2000 drivers that they make everything available. They're always willing to help their competitors, and it just makes for some great camaraderie. Most of these guys race together all throughout the year at different events, so they know each other, they know what each other's going to do. They know when people are going to turn in. It's just a really fun group to watch, as we watch a lot of passing here in Madness.
Yeah, a lot of passing. It's good. And it is madness. I love it. But no change at the front at the moment. It's still Ben Sinnott leading the way. These are short races, and they're all sprint races, and I think that's a good thing because it just means that you get plenty of racing over the weekend. But if you get it wrong or you don't get the start you want, there's another race coming up. So that's a good sign, and they get a lot of track time. Good to see. Good crowd here today, and once again, Mid-Ohio has welcomed the idea of coming racing. It was touch and go as to whether they would open up in terms of getting crowds into the event. But as you can see, the way we do crowds here, it's not like we've got 50,000 crammed into a grandstand. It's mostly RVs and people with picnics and cars and out on the periphery. So it's pretty safe, and everybody's in their own little bubble. And it's a great place to come watch motor racing because there's plenty of vantage points and places to park up.
Yeah, look at that. That's Brent Gerder in the number 76. He's the one that spun at Keyhole at turn 2, lap 1. And now he's already back. It looks like he's in 16th place. He went back to 24th. So in just 2 laps, he's picked up a lot of places. So let's see if he can try to get back. Usually we see him on the podium, and he's trying desperately to get back to that position.
And a young Henry Payne in the number 13 just behind him. Thomas LaCosta chasing him down in the Lola T492 behind. There is Henry. Is he the one that was saying he was the fastest of the three of them?
No, that's his son. Henry Payne, the fourth, actually works for Detroit News, and he has a car radio show, an AM car radio show in the Detroit area that I was lucky enough to be a guest on yesterday.
Look at you.
It was fun. And,
Motor City Radio.
Yeah.
You've made it, buddy.
I have. It's good stuff. And it was a great radio show, good interview. And Henry and his son Samuel and Henry Payne the fifth always put on a good show with us in Mid-Ohio.
Well, we've got a full day of racing for you if you're just tuning in on our app or however you're going to your live stream feed. We welcome you to SVRA coverage. Trans Am coming up, our feature race in TA2. Had a great TA race won by Ernie Francis Jr. yesterday. We'll give you more information on that. Hopefully maybe we'll get even early over here at some point if he hasn't gone home yet.
And ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this on the SVRA Facebook or YouTube, leave a comment. What do you like to see? What do you want to see? We're monitoring that. And also tell us where you're watching from and who you're rooting for.
Looking high above, Rob Sherwood currently in third position, but rather lonely third at the moment. Look, he's got the track to his own. Now, this is what I would like, is having the track to myself, because I would have said with no distractions, I'd be faster. It's when you're wheel to wheel that it's hard. And you get in the zone like this, and here is Rob Sherwood, and we're getting a really good, nice little isolation shot of him.
That's Ben Sinnott, our leader, right there.
Excuse me.
Yeah, he's racing with Sasco Sports. Yeah, you got to look for the 5 or the 5A, because there's so many cars. Yeah, so sometimes there's a 0-5, a 5, and a 5A, 5B. It's kind of crazy, but Ben Sinnott is just so fast in everything. He's a longtime student of Peter Krause, who's kind of like the guru of S2000s, a great vintage racing race instructor. And then there's Henry Payne the fifth, Henry Payne's son, who's always fast. And even in the first couple practices, he was faster than Ben, and it surprised him. But, you know, Ben never really shows what he has until it's race day.
These look so much fun to race.
They do. And if you've ever raced slot cars, these things kind of look like slot cars around the track.
Ooh, somebody's parked up there, the 77. That's Mark Coombs parked up there for some reason.
That's not good. Mark is one of the people that if you would have said who's going to be on the podium, I definitely would have put Mark Coombs in that running. Mark's in a new car. They had an unfortunate accident just a couple of years ago, not an on-track incident. And this happens quite a lot. It's the hauling to or from racetracks. They had a trailer fire. The Payne's cars were in there, but luckily the Payne's cars weren't burned so bad. So this is just a reminder out there to make sure you go to Haycock Classic Insurance and insure your motor vehicle for to and from the track.
Nice segue. Ben, you're a pro.
See,
look at you.
I'm trying, man.
That's good stuff. No, you're absolutely right. And again, looking at this class is, like I said, for semi-professionals or amateurs, and they tend to keep these cars for quite some time. It's easy to work on them. They've got a 4-speed gearbox. It's nothing, it's nothing that can't be fixed, even if it does get burnt. But they're simple cars. Throw them out the truck, and away you go. And if they do get problems, bodywork is cheap, and you pretty much finagle apart from anywhere you need. So you'll see a lot of these guys race these cars for 10, maybe 15 years before they either move on or sell them to the younger guys.
Yep. Yeah, these are sometimes like family artifacts.
Yeah.
And they get passed down and passed down. But yeah, if you're racing with SVRA, it's for the love of racing, for the love of cars. And yeah, you treat these things like you're their baby. That's Rob Sherwood right there in the 05, just coming around the keyhole in the back straight, just all by himself. I'm not used to seeing this S2000 class racing all by himself.
Like
There's the group we're looking at right there. Now that looks like a ton of fun.
Yeah.
And vintage racing is different than racing that you may be used to if this is your first time tuning in. It's all about the pack racing like this. It's not about who wins the races to me. It's all about just having a great time. These guys are out there battling for what? Like 12th position, having the time of their lives. That's where I like to be in vintage racing. There again, there's Brent Gernert in the number 76 mixing up with this pack. He's quite a bit faster, and he's just trying to make his way through and pass safely. In vintage racing, it is up to the person making the pass to make sure he can make a safe pass.
Yeah,
that's what he's doing here.
the biggest faux pas is not going off the track. He's actually touching another car, and that's a no-no in vintage racing because everybody's pride and joy. And it's like you say, you want to race close, but you want to race fair, and you don't want to be getting into contact or being too aggressive.
Oh yeah, SVRA has been social distancing before it was cool.
I like it. Yep, good point. Motor racing, the ultimate social distancing racing. Absolutely.
Look at
Helmet
those
on.
shots. That looks like like we're watching a video game or a movie. That's amazing that Greenlight's able to get these shots at Mid-Ohio.
Yeah, it's really nice, especially live like that from the drone. And like you say, it looks like a movie. It's the lush greenness that's really picking up for me. It looks so gorgeous down there.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's not some filter we're putting on there. That is just the beauty of Mid-Ohio. I love this pack racing like this. It is so much fun to watch.
Robert Dusek, the second, in the number 32.
I think he's the third. Is that the oh no, there's a 23, so there's two. There's a 23 and a 32, and there's a second and a third. How cool is that?
Very cool. He's in a Swift DB82. See all the RVs parked along the way. That's pretty standard for Mid-Ohio.
Let's see this pass. Brent Gernert looks to the outside, now comes to the inside and thinks, you know what, I'm going to live to fight another day. Or maybe, no, he's coming in. He's a really good driver, Brent, and sometimes you wonder if somebody gets spun in the first lap, are they seeing straight? You know, is the red mist clouding their judgment? But it looks like it isn't for him. It looks like he's making good moves. He's not doing anything erratic.
And again, we got 7, 8 cars on this shot alone, as they all dive and bob and weave.
You know, I've been coming here for 10 years. I had no idea there was a lake there.
Well, yeah, me neither.
How pretty is that?
Plenty of fields. We're in the heart of Ohio farmland for sure. Coming in this morning, saw plenty of farmers out getting ready to tend their fields. Ooh, that was a moment and a half there coming through the complex for the leading red and blue number, something to say, I can't see it now, but leading off this pack, we're looking at 21, so that was Greg Miller. There he is, in the number 4, they got completely sideways there, and now he's got the other car that was spun around, that's Brent Gernert. And he's making an outside pass, as he turns back to the inside.
Outside pass there, pretty great.
Yeah, that was great.
I really like the bodywork, the shape of that 21. What is that? That is a Van Diemen. That's why I like it. I always love Van Diemens.
Yep. And when you start talking Swifts and Van Diemens, you're getting into Formula Ford category. And these cars aren't that dissimilar. I mean, obviously they're a lot wider, but we're talking about the same manufacturers that make the very slim Formula Ford type chassis. Lola, Swift, Van Diemen, typically British.
And this is what people are talking about at Mid-Ohio. You notice that the pavement gets darker there. They put the sealant down to help the asphalt from cracking. But a lot of times when they put sealant down, they put it on the apex of the turns, which makes it really slick. And it's hard for drivers. It makes it more difficult to drive because you're basically driving on different surfaces. So once you get used to the traction and the grip you're going to get on one surface, then you get on another surface and it's just totally different. So you really have to know Mid-Ohio well to drive it fast.
Yeah, back in the pits.
Oh no, that's Nathan Sigliano, one of my favorite drivers. Great livery on that car. Tony's getting some great shots. Looks like he had to come into black flag. I did see some grass on the track. I'm wondering if he had an off there. But look at the livery on that. Nathan's a great vintage racer with us and really takes good care of his car. As we look at the leader right now, Ben Sinnott coming into turn 1. Great shot, Ben. Speed on that thing. And
Yeah.
He's just a really talented driver.
Yeah, we're getting now towards the closing part of this race. So like I said, sprint races at 20 minutes in all, that's all they get. But that's enough. Plenty of racing, plenty of laps, plenty of adrenaline for the day. Start your day off, get you waking up. Who needs a cup of coffee when you got a race coming?
It's funny, he's got this all black car and a super bright helmet. It looks like he should be wearing like a Darth Vader helmet in that car. That'd be like a Darth Vader car.
Maybe you should suggest it.
But Ben is a really good driver. Look at his lines. He's usually pretty flawless. And it's really fun to watch Ben navigate. I've put cameras in his car, and to watch him navigate through lap traffic is really fun to do.
So the clock ticking down on the first of many a race to come here on our Super Sunday of the Speed Tour here from Mid-Ohio. It's good to be back racing, and we've got a bumper field. And here he comes towards the line, going into the last few corners before the carousel, and then he'll come pop out through this right-hander. And will he get one more lap? I think he will. No, it's going to be the checkered, I think. And he does take the checkered flag and complete what is the first of several races here this afternoon and this morning. And that is Ben Sinnott waving to the crowd and waving for what was a good job done here on Sunday morning. So well done to Ben Sinnott. Second place goes to Henry Payne, the fifth. And then Rob Sherwood, who we mentioned earlier, in the Carbier CS2 takes third place. Graham Alderman in the Carbier CS2 as well. And I think he's happy. Look, he's clapping everybody.
We don't like for drivers to take two hands off the wheel during the race, but in the celebration lap, they just are thanking the corner workers and the fans.
But no texting.
No texting. Yeah, no snacking. They don't have cup holders. But we want to thank all the corner workers that help out in racing all over the place, not just SVRA, because without the corner workers, we couldn't be out here doing this racing.
Yeah, it's a good point. And you can see all the RVs dotted around the woodlands.
I'm so glad to be back at racing, so glad to be back at Mid-Ohio, but usually we have a really full crowd here, but with only giving the spectators and the season ticket holders a 2 days notice, our crowd is light this year. But
you had no crowd at Road America, right?
Yeah, no crowd. Well, no, we did have a crowd there too, but I'm not complaining about the crowd size because I'm just so happy to be back at racing.
And as you look at the paddock up high above you, you can see the size of the event itself. But that concludes our first S2000 race. My thanks to Ben. We'll be back with more racing coming up. Stay with us. Hey race fans, it's the start of a brand new decade, so don't be on the outside looking in. Straddle the technology fence with us and be part of all the action at every round of the 2020 season. With our all-new app, you'll now have live global streaming of all the action from the heart of each and every track. Live scoring, race highlights, replays, results and team and driver news. Everything you could ever want to be informed of the world of Trans Am and SVRA. Download now on Apple and Android, the only place to get your muscle car media.
Land Rover has reimagined an icon, and in doing so, has created an SUV for the 21st century. Challenged in the most demanding of terrains, not only did the new Defender survive, it thrived. We knew the only way to honor its heritage was to design a vehicle built for a new breed of explorers as we reinvent the future of adventuring together. This is what makes the new Defender capable of great things. Land Rover, above and beyond.
One of the main reasons for poor vehicle performance is a dirty fuel system. It can cause decreased fuel economy and actually do harm to your engine over time. By adding Lucas fuel treatment to your vehicle, it cleans and lubricates the entire fuel system, pump, carburetors, fuel injectors, and valves as you drive. It also improves your vehicle's performance. It's a non-solvent product designed to protect both gasoline and diesel engines. Lucas Fuel Treatment. It works.
When the road calls, we answer. Hit the road with insurance that protects your classic for what it's actually worth and save an average of $264. Get a quote today at Haggerty.com.
There's a challenging spirit within Honda. It gives us the courage to go faster and the thinking to make it real. Whether it looks like a truck, a sedan, or an SUV, inside is the heart of a race car.
Hey race fans, it's the start of a brand new decade, so don't be on the outside looking in. Straddle the technology fence with us and be part of all the action at every round of the 2020 season. With our all-new app, you'll now have live global streaming of all the action from the heart of each and every track. Live scoring, race highlights, replays, results and team and driver news. Everything you could ever want to be informed of the world of Trans Am and SVRA. Download now on Apple and Android, the only place to get your muscle car media. On behalf of SVRA, we'd like to congratulate Range Rover on its 50th anniversary, and we thank Jaguar Land Rover for their continued support over the years.
Keeping your pride and joy perfect is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Start with Slick Mist Speed Wax. Simply mist on and wipe off for a professional detail or shine. For your tires and trim, there's Lucas Slick Mist Tire and Trim Shine. Spray on and wipe off for better than new look. Then finish her with Lucas Slick Mist Interior Detailer. Just spray and wipe. Easy. Use Lucas Slick Mist Car Care products and she'll never look better. Fast, easy, and professional. Really, it's sort of like having an extra set of hands. Or 3.
I travel a lot. Whether it's a meeting in New York or a car auction in LA, I trust only Passport my car. With their up-to-the-minute GPS tracking system, I know exactly where my car is at all times. They take the extra step to secure my vehicle's safety, and their pickup and delivery service is truly door-to-door. With Passport Transport, I know my car's in good hands, because they're car guys too. I'm Roger Van Ness, CEO of Kemp Auto Museum, and this is why I'm a Passport Transport customer.
When hours invested become miles enjoyed. Whether you're customizing or building a car from the ground up, Haggerty protects your vehicle with guaranteed value coverage. Get a quote today at Haggerty.com.
There's a challenging spirit within Honda. It gives us the courage to go faster and the thinking to make it real. Whether it looks like a truck, a sedan, or an SUV, inside is the heart of a race car.
Hey race fans, it's the start of a brand new decade, so don't be on the outside looking in. Straddle the technology fence with us and be part of all the action at every round of the 2020 season. With our all-new app, you'll now have live global streaming of all the action from the heart of each and every track. Live scoring, race highlights, replays, results and team and driver news. Everything you could ever want to be informed of the world of Trans Am and SVRA. Download now on Apple and Android, the only place to get your muscle car media.
I found a place in my heart. I found a light in the dark. I found my heaven.
The Range Rover Evoque.
What if they sold tires online?
We do. We're TireRack.com.
They could offer lots of tires and help you find the right tire.
It's called the Tire Decision Guide.
Oh, and they could ship them to a nearby mechanic.
We shipped to over 7,000 independent recommended installers.
This is an amazing idea.
Sorry.
Visit TireRack.com/Pirelli to find the full line of Pirelli tires. Pirelli, power is nothing without control. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
In full camo, with a pre-mounted optic and every feature you could ever want in a turkey gun, nothing can stop it. Except maybe the end of turkey season. The new V3 Turkey Pro from Remington.
When the finish line calls, we answer. Hit the road with insurance protection from Hagerty. Whether you drive a built racer, sports car, or exotic, and save an average of $264. Get a quote today at Hagerty.com.
There's a challenging spirit within Honda. It gives us the courage to go faster and the thinking to make it real. Whether it looks like a truck, a sedan, or an SUV, inside is the heart of a race car.
So, welcome back to the Vintage Grand Prix of Mid-Ohio. As you can see, we've got a bunch of single-seaters out there. This is Group 2, Group 1, and looking forward to this. Pre-1973 Formula cars. Classic car regulations, of course, and like Lotuses, Brabhams, Caldwells, Titans, Crossleys, you name it.
Yeah, this is just our Group 2, which is Formula 4s from different eras. But we were going through, like, what I love about vintage racing is all of the different manufacturers. It's not like modern racing today. So we have a Van Diemen, Titan, Makins, Brabham, Crossley, Winkelmann, Zink, Caldwell, Swift. My favorite is the Eagle. I think there's no prettier Formula Ford than the Eagle. Lotus and PRS.
Yeah, you gotta love the Lotus. I'll go for my Lotus to be British. Welcome to Ben Sissel. I'm Jonathan Green, and we're looking forward to a full day of racing here at Mid-Ohio. It's a little overcast, but compared to what we had yesterday, certainly through the mid part of the day, very heavy rain, and it kind of disrupted the operation, certainly for the Formula 4 race that we had, F4 Americas, and heavy rain, and they all switched to rain tyres right before the race, but as you can see, it's perfectly dry. The pace car is coming out, and into the pits it goes. We will have a 2x2 start, car number 8 and car number 9 on the front to lead us away. Bob Hattel and Eric Inkrot. Here we go. Led by the number 8 then of Bob Hale in the all green. Here we go. They cross the strip here. It's Group 2, Race 2 from Mid-Ohio, and it is the number 8 that leads them through and under the bridge and into the first corner and down towards the keyhole for the first time.
Yeah, and the first group, Bob Hatley, Todd Strong, Eric Inkrot, all drove all the way out from California. We have 5 Californians in this race all the way out here at Mid-Ohio as they go into the keyhole.
I have to say, I think of all the cars I've been are on display, I think I'd love a run at one of these. I'm trying to form the first car out in New Zealand a few months ago, and I got the bug because they're not much bigger and not much faster, and so you don't have this sense of trepidation, as it were. You know you haven't got that much power underneath you. You've got a huge track, plenty of room to make a mistake, but they can catch you out quickly if you get it wrong.
Oh, look at that. Todd Strong locked up his front wheels. He's in the number 2 position. He's going to try to make a move here on Bob Hatley, coming down the hill into the right-hander, I think. But Eric Inkrott's right there, right to his right. These guys race all the time together. They're very close friends. Ray Stevens is also here with us in a black Formula Ford. Looks like we've got a double yellow.
Yeah,
our first double yellow of the weekend.
Yeah, I can't remember seeing a double yellow all weekend. Yeah, I think you're quite right.
Really good corner workers here at Mid-Ohio. They are really quick to respond. Look at how well they're holding that out, making sure all the drivers see the double yellow. So we are going to have a restart. We're not sure what is the cause of this double yellow yet, but look at this field of cars. This is another driver class. These cars are very equally matched. They go through great pains. Like I was talking about, I want to just give a shout out to Kim Madrid and the Formula Ford Drivers Champion that she's arranged out there at the Formula Ford Challenge. And she's done a really good job, and her group has done a really good job of tightening the rules. And so they always race with us, SVRA, out on the West Coast. And she and a lot of her group are out here racing with us here and always putting on a great show. They love to have fun in the paddocks. They're really close friends, but really hard competitors. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing Kim in this group. She has the pink car with a pink mohawk. She had a lot of problems and had to overnight some parts for her transmission from North Carolina to get back on the track. She was so happy to be back on the track, and I hope she doesn't have a mechanical or some kind of failure here today.
Now, the rules say pre-1973 for Group 2. So, are we looking at early 70s cars, or are there 60s cars out there?
Yeah, there's some 60s cars out here. Group 2 isn't just, so that car there, that new modern number 15 Formula Ford, that's obviously after that. But a pure Group 2, there's different classes in each group.
Car.
Yes. Yeah, and there's different advantages. Just like anything, you know, as time progresses and people learn about the cars, there's different technology innovations that go into it. So it seems like the cars get faster the newer they are.
I think I should have been born a racing car, because I'll tell you what, I was born in the 60s and I'm not holding up as well as these guys. Some of these cars just look as though they come straight out of the box.
Yeah, the drivers have a love affair with their cars, and they really go through great pains to take care and really keep the cars looking good. Some of the rules, the unspoken rule of vintage racing is the first thing you do is make sure the car looks good, and then you make it fast. And that's kind of counterintuitive to racing, but the true vintage racers are like, the first thing I got to do is make it look good. And look at that eagle right there in front of the number 77 car. I really think there's no better looking Formula Ford than that Gurney Eagle. I love the Lotuses, but there's something about that Eagle that always attracts my eye.
I wonder what's held up proceedings. It's a strange one, very strange. But
Yeah,
anyway, double yellow's being raised. We'll keep an eye on the pace car, because once the lights go out on it, then we should get back to racing again, and Bob Hatel will have to do it all again. But as you can see, the double yellow's still being waved. Back in the distance, the picnic blankets being put down. And look at that old VW in the background. That's a classic.
It is, and I love places where there's a big racing culture, like Mid-Ohio, Road America, Watkins Glen, Sebring. You notice, well, there it is. It's Kim Madrid. We can get a shot of that, the 291.
That just answers your question.
Yeah. She's having mechanicals this week. Everybody was coming to her aid, just like in any vintage racing. So unfortunate for Kim Madrid. Her daughter Dana's here helping her out. She went through great pains to get back on track, and she's being towed around again. Last couple of years, she's had some bad luck with us.
The good news is she's not that far from pit entering right now, so we should be able to get the 291, the all pink. I like the top, like you said, the mohawk. Look at that.
Yeah, and again, you know, that might cost her a little bit of time because of the wind resistance, but she wants to look good.
I doubt it. So we should get back to racing at the end of this next lap. We'll keep an eye on the pace car, but I can see out of the corner of my eye that she now is the 291 at play. That's great. I love the mohawk.
Sponsored by the Grateful Dead, Kim Madrid out of Rancho Cucamonga, California.
Ooh, Rancho Cucamonga. It's that place again. How many racing drivers are from there?
I don't know. It's a lot. It's real close to Fontana, so maybe they're just breeding race car drivers.
I guess so.
Look at that Eagle. I love that Eagle, that number 8 right there. Beautiful car.
Yeah, it's interesting. I love this range. Even around the world, they still race these 70s Formula Fords, all of different descriptions, Van Diemen, Swifts, you name it, and really, just gets, I mean, I don't think there's another car in the world that gets as much racing week on week than a Formula Ford. Doesn't matter how old. And actually, you can race a 1990 Formula Ford against a 1967 Formula Ford. And depending on who's at the wheel, get the same result.
Oh yeah, and I just want to remind everybody that's just tuning in that if you think you might want to be interested in this, we give SVRA racing schools on the East Coast and the West Coast. They're very affordable, a lot of fun. A lot of times people will bring their fathers, sons, daughters out to our racing schools. And if you're looking at racing with us, this is a really great class to get into. Very reasonable on cars.
Affordable?
And there's a bunch out there. If you get on the internet and know how to use Google, you can find 10 or 12 Formula Fords in your area that are for sale. Some are ready to go, some you might need to do some wrenching on, but the great part about this is if you can fix a lawnmower, you can work on your Formula Ford.
Yeah, the investment is really on the wrencher because the car's not that expensive, but getting it fettled, that's a whole different ballgame.
But I promise you, if you get a car like this and you don't know too much about cars and you bring it to the track, probably want to bring a friend mechanic with you, but everybody here in the paddock that races Formula Fords will jump right with you, tell you how to set it up, and give you all the advice. And by the weekend's close, you will have a really well set up Formula Ford actually by your competitors because all they want is more people to run with.
Well, looks like they're going to do one more lap under safety, but we now know that at least Madrid is off the track. Maybe there was another incident as well. Is it Kathy or Kathy Madrid?
Kim Madrid.
Kim Madrid, excuse me. Yeah, so I think we've got one more lap left in this, but we're running out of time to run these guys. They've only got about 9 minutes on the clock, so we're going to have a real sprint race to decide this one. And at the moment, Bob Hadel, who got the lead, continues in the number 8. Todd Strong is second. Eric Inkroth is third. And then Daniel Pajanowski's in 4th position at the moment.
And again, just back to the whole vintage racing thing. If this is your first time being exposed to this, beautiful cars, great courses. I really think that we have the greatest schedule in motorsports. If you look at the tracks that SVRA visits across the country, we visit basically the who's who of racing circuits. But the other thing, like we learned last night, Jonathan, in that group from California,
they make good tacos.
Kim Madrid's husband, Rudy, makes the best tacos in the world. He has a taco party for us every year at Fontana, and usually they come to Indy. He was at Road America with us. So if you want the best tacos in the world, I know you're from Austin, Texas, and you're going to think that that's the best.
Yeah.
Rudy, he can make some mean tacos.
Yeah, when you live in Texas, you get a bit snobbish about Mexican food. You're like, I live in there. I live down there. Come on.
The Tex-Mex.
It is.
And ladies and gentlemen, please leave comments on our Facebook, YouTube. Make sure you download the SVRA and Trans Am app. But leave a comment where you are, where you're watching from, what cars are really getting your eye. Who are you rooting for in these races? As we're probably about to go to green.
I've got my eye on that 77 Caldwell. I like that.
Yeah, I do too. I'm thinking right now, Todd Strong and Bob Hatley are going to go side by side into turn 2. And they don't mind racing very, very close. Too close for comfort. They're not going to be social distancing here at the green flag.
So here we go. The yellow flags still out. Well, no, they are back in now. I'm looking at the marshal's post. In come the yellow flags, and I think we may see the pace car come off this lap. And here he is. That's the reason why we are under safety, is the Honda there and the safety car there. You see the lights are off, and so as you rightly point out, Bob Hatley in the all bright green leading the way will be put under pressure from Todd Strong right from the get-go. And as they head towards the keyhole, we may see some good shenanigans. Here we go then, folks. Out of the carousel they come, and back to racing. Good start from the number 9. That's a great start from Eric Inkroth in 3rd place. He could be challenging by the time we get to the keyhole. Here we go then. Hatley into the left-hander, leading the way. Top 4 already pulling away.
What a great field of Formula 4s. Now watch Todd Strong. I don't think he's close enough, but Eric Inkrot and Todd Strong at Road America last weekend, they passed each other, I think, 7 times in one race.
Into the keyhole they go, yeah. It was a really good start by the number 9 in the blue and white. Sliding out there, getting all the grip and more. Down the back straight they go then. Under speed, past the starter's stand.
It's all about the draft right here. Eric's trying to pick up the draft. The third car is the fastest car in a draft. He's not quite close enough, but look at Todd duck out. I think there he goes. Use the draft. He's going to be hard on the brakes. Don't hit Bob. Look at that. Todd Strong knew right where he was, but then Todd taking the outside into that turn has the advantage set up for madness, and Eric just couldn't quite get him. Eric's going to look out. These guys know each other so well. They race each other probably 12 times a year, all over the place, and they know exactly what each other's going to do.
Through the S's they come then, and a good restart, clean restart. But at the front, it's still Bob Haitley and Todd Strong regaining that second place. Now a little further down the field, Hamilton in 13th place, and Stam and Barber. But look at this four-way battle now forming at the front. Nose to tail.
Yeah, Daniel Pianowski has joined this group. He's been trying really hard to stay in. Look at them sliding through here. Here comes Todd Strong making a move. I don't know. Bob Hatley's car is a little bit more aerodynamic than Todd's. And a long straight like that, he's going to try to duck right behind him, get back into the draft. The 36 of Pianowski's really trying to hold on to this, because if he can get behind them and get into the draft, he is going to be the fastest car out there.
Yeah, it's interesting. And here pops out the number 9 in 3rd place. Can he hold the line into the inside? And yes, he does. They're side by side as they come through the keyhole. And I think he's got 2nd place. Yes, he has.
Nice job. Eric Inkrot makes the pass on Todd Strong. These two go at it. But the great thing is Todd knew he was there, gave him the room, didn't give him too much room because he doesn't want to give him an advantage. Gentleman driving, but Todd now is just going to think, how am I going to get it back?
Well, he's got the slipstream, but he just didn't stick with it, and now he's going to have to settle for 3rd place as they dive into the right-hander at turn 4.
Yeah, he's got Pianowski right behind him. Look at that, vying for the inside there. Coming up. So not only do you have to be aware of what's in front of you, you're watching your mirrors, making sure you're not getting a bad line. This part of the track, it's not really about the draft, it's about the line. Taking the line, trying to get your competitor to look in the mirrors. Bob Hatley does not want to give up 1st place, but Eric Inkrot, Todd Strong, and Pianowski are right behind him as there's great battles, just like in vintage racing throughout the field. Look at this coming in here. There's a group of 4 cars coming into this hard right-hander under the Honda bridge, up into another blind turn. I love the undulation here at Mid-Ohio. Here they come into the carousel. Todd Strong takes the outside turn. Jonathan, this is fun to watch.
Oh, it's great, yeah. And the fact that, like you say, we've got the clusters of racing all the way through as they pass our commentary position again and down the main straight. And now, big pressure on Bob Hatley as they head under the bridge again. Time running out, just 3 minutes to go, so a couple of laps left for these 4 to fight it out for the lead. Now, where's the next overtake? Up to the inside at keyhole, perhaps?
Perhaps. Bob Hatley's really going to defend that inside line. He opened the door a little bit for Eric. I don't think he was close enough, but right here it's all about the draft. They're going to try to get in line to go down to this turning into the passing zone down here, going into the grandstand section. There's a little bit of a right-hander, but they're flat out right now.
But Bob Hatley's got good straight line speed and managing to keep away from the draft. So I thought they'd all draft past him down this long back straight. They haven't, and you can see he's pulled a car length or 2 ahead of them as they dive into turn 4, and he holds on to that lead.
Yeah, his car has the least amount of drag. It's the most modern of the top 4 right there.
That might be it then, yeah.
And Bob is a very experienced race car driver from Southern California. He's been doing it for years. He loves that car. He races it all the time, but he did just get passed. It looks like Todd Strong is now the leader. Coming into the hard right-hander. They're just out of view, but he did get passed after this hard right-hander at Madness.
So Todd Strong goes from 3rd to 1st. In a matter of moments, and it's just the right timing. Oh, he's pushing it now. Now he's got the lead.
That's Eric Inkrot. Yeah. Eric Inkrot is in the front. Eric, I'm proud of you, buddy. Nice job. He's been really showing some speed here lately. And now Eric Inkrot is taking the last lap sign here at Mid-Ohio.
So times run out, and look at the lead he's got now that Bob Haley's relinquished it. We've got a two-way battle for second place, but this is the final lap, and that was the perfect timing by Eric Igrot. He started basically in third position, and we had that long wait while we got Madrid's car out of the way at the start of this race. But once Igrot got the lead, I think he's now got enough of the lead where he shouldn't be challenged down the back straight.
No,
But
it
we'll
might
soon
not be
find
over.
out.
It depends. Todd Strong, Bob Hatley, and Pianowski have to work together here on this long straight. They got to get tighter than that and don't get out of this draft. Yeah, they're not tight enough. I think you're right. I think Eric Igrot, if he doesn't make a mistake, this may be his. Hatley's coming up to him, though.
It's Crossley versus Swift and Titan. For modern car of the number 8, excuse me. Bright green. Bob Haley has led most of this race, but is now trying to hang on to second place now as Eric Igrot heads towards the checkered flag here on the final lap at Mid-Ohio for our Group 2 race.
This is exciting. I love it. Eric Igrot, his wife is here. It's been a long time since I've seen him win a race this highly contested. I hope he can hold on to it. I wish I could go down to the podium and give him a high five and celebrate with him. So
he almost made a
Eric
mistake there.
Igrot waving.
Yeah.
Bob Hatley, Todd Strong, Pianowski in fourth.
There you go, checkered flag out, and he really was pushing towards the end there. He came out of the right-hander and almost missed his mark, but the 9A takes the victory. And it's Eric Igrot in the Crossley 35F who wins the race in style. Chose his moment, took it, and then didn't look back. Bob Haley will probably regret the fact that he kind of had the race, but, well...
You know what, though, Jonathan? If I know Bob Hatley and Todd Strong, they're disappointed they didn't win, but they're so close friends that they're so happy that it was a great race, that Eric showed what he had. I'd love to see a shot of his wife right now. I bet you she is just jumping up and down because this is a family affair. And, you know, they drove all the way out here from California. They raced Road America with us last weekend. They were with us in Fontana a couple months ago before this COVID thing happened. And they just have so much fun together. Here, look at him. You can just tell you can't see his smile, but you can tell he's smiling just by his body language.
So he was at Road America, but he didn't get the victory.
He didn't get the victory. His victory was passing Todd Strong. Todd Strong is really tough to pass. Very talented Formula Ford driver. But then I'm used to seeing Bob Hatley on the top step or Todd Strong. I see Eric Igrot a lot on the podium, but I don't think I've ever seen him on the top step. Nice job, Eric.
So, confirmation of the unofficial results. We'll never know. Eric Igrot, Bob Hatley, Todd Strong, Daniel Pianowski, Tom Stefani, James Steer, Wes Allen, Ray Stevens, Mark Repka, and Mark Clark. That's your top 10 in the Group 2 Race 2 results. We'll take a short break. We'll be back from Mid-Ohio in a moment. Hey race fans, it's the start of a brand new decade, so don't be on the outside looking in. Straddle the technology fence with us and be part of all the action at every round of the 2020 season. With our all-new app, you'll now have live global streaming of all the action from the heart of each and every track. Live scoring, race highlights, replays, results and team and driver news. Everything you could ever want to be informed of the world of Trans Am and SVRA. Download now on Apple and Android, the only place to get your muscle car media.
Everywhere I look, I see light and shape. And some shapes are just more beautiful than others.
I think about lots of things when I drive. The cost of scheduled maintenance certainly isn't one of them.
The F-Pace.
How Jaguar makes an SUV.
For great offers, visit your Jaguar retailer during the Impeccable Timing sales event.
Maui Jim sunglasses were born on the beaches of Hawaii, designed to respond to the bright sun and harsh glare of the islands, all while enhancing the view. After 30 years, we're still independently owned, and the free-thinking Hawaiian spirit that first inspired us is still a part of everything we do. Our Polarized Plus 2 lenses not only protect eyes from harmful rays, they also make colors more vivid and contrast crisper. Try on a pair and see for yourself. The view's better from here.
A marathon coach owner is someone who expects exploration and relaxation to blend flawlessly. For the most reliable, luxurious motor coach on the market today, look no further than Marathon Coach. Indulge that wanderlust, leave any cares behind, and lead a life filled with adventure. Join the Marathon family and take your 5-star hotel with you.
When the finish line calls, we answer. Hit the road with insurance protection from Hagerty. Whether you drive a built racer, sports car, or exotic, and save an average of $264. Get a quote today at Hagerty.com.
There's a challenging spirit within Honda. It gives us the courage to go faster, and the thinking to make it real. Whether it looks like a truck, a sedan, or an SUV, inside is the heart of a race car.
Hey race fans, it's the start of a brand new decade, so don't be on the outside looking in. Straddle the technology fence with us and be part of all the action at every round of the 2020 season. With our all-new app, you'll now have live global streaming of all the action from the heart of each and every track. Live scoring, race highlights, replays, results, and team and driver news. Everything you could ever want to be informed of the world of Trans Am and SVRA. Download now on Apple and Android, the only place to get your muscle car media.
Land Rover has reimagined an icon, and in doing so, has created an SUV for the 21st century. Challenged in the most demanding of terrains, not only did the new Defender survive, it thrived. We knew the only way to honor its heritage was to design a vehicle built for a new breed of explorers, as we reinvent the future of adventuring together. This is what makes the new Defender capable of great things. Land Rover, above and beyond.
One of the main reasons for poor vehicle performance is a dirty fuel system. It can cause decreased fuel economy and actually do harm to your engine over time. By adding Lucas fuel treatment to your vehicle, it cleans and lubricates the entire fuel system, pump, carburetors, fuel injectors, and valves as you drive. It also improves your vehicle's performance. It's a non-solvent product designed to protect both gasoline and diesel engines. Lucas Fuel Treatment. It works.
When the road calls, we answer. Hit the road with insurance that protects your classic for what it's actually worth and save an average of $264. Get a quote today at Hagerty.com.
There's a challenging spirit within Honda. It gives us the courage to go faster, and the thinking to make it real. Whether it looks like a truck, a sedan, or an SUV, inside is the heart of a race car.
Quite different now, but scrumptious, as they say in England, because this is a bunch of British cars, including that Jaguar and a Maserati as well. But we've got all sorts out there. Ben, I know you love this category. we're moving on to our feature race, race 2 of the Group 1, Group 3, and Group 4. Now that's a lot of groups, but a lot of similar cars.
Yeah, and they're set up pretty similarly, and you're going to see it's not going to be 3 Group 3 cars winning this race probably. We've got Devon's, Porsche, beautiful Maserati, Chevy, Jaguar, MG, Mercedes-Benz, Austin Healey, Alfa Romeo, Datsun, Volvo. It just goes on and on. These are basically what I would call small bore production cars, led down the field by 2 Yanko Stingers. And in this group, if you've seen a Corvair, they're not huge cars, but in this group, they look like boats.
Well, listen, I know my British cars, but Yanko Stingers, tell me more.
It's a Chevy Corvair that Don Yanko took, kind of like Carroll Shelby did with Mustangs.
Yep.
He customized them to be really high-performance rear-engine Corvairs.
Well, here we go. There's 2 at the front here as the pace car comes off, and we are racing at Mid-Ohio. A full field. And a beautiful sound, too, as they all dive across the line and down towards the Honda Bridge for the first time. The 2 Corvairs side by side, but finally one gets the advantage into the first corner. That lovely 79.
So taking the lead right now, that's Logan Dernoshik. And we were talking about Yanko Stinger. His father, Warren, worked for Don Yanko and built that exact car and raced it at Sebring over 50 years ago.
Amazing. Look at them. They're still side by side out through the keyhole. Now they've got to sort themselves out.
These 2 always have a great race together. James Shart now takes the lead. He and Logan are used to mixing it up right there. Vic Skurman's right behind him. So right now it looks like the rear engine cars are taking it as Cliff Murray now comes back in that beautiful Devon Porsche.
Yes, the Porsche now dropping to 4th position, the 356 that is, and like you say, the Model D for Porsche. With Murray going through into 3rd place, but what a great race we've got already. What a combination out there. They look so different, don't they?
Yeah, it's easy to tell these cars apart right now. As Logan Dernoshik takes the lead. And if you're wondering what a Devon Porsche is, Devon basically made bodies. They were a body manufacturer, and then you pick the chassis or engine that you wanted to put on them. So sometimes we've got Devon MGs, Devon Porsches, Devon Chevrolets.
Which is almost sacrosanct these days. I mean, Porsche wouldn't let you do that, I wouldn't have thought. But back in the day, it was okay.
Yeah, and then Rob Davenport right there behind Vic Skurmans, and he is in a car that his dad used to race in, that Datsun. Beautiful car. If you get a chance, you need to go down to the paddock and the garages near a tech and look at this car. It's unbelievable. And then in that beautiful green bug-eye Sprite there with the big smile, that's our Group 1 champion last year, Scott Frazier, coming around the carousel as he's trying to get by that Group 3 MGB.
First flying lap, a 148.8 by Logan Dernoshik. And good pace, and everybody just under the 150 mark. And that's a fairly handy lap around the circuit. Now, where's my
Look at that Jaguar.
I know,
I love
I'm
that
just
thing.
trying to see what position he's in. He's in about 15th at the moment,
Then we've
Paul
got
Gelpy.
the Maserati in that beautiful yellow MGA. That's Dave Nicholas. I think for 5 or 6 years straight, he was our Group 1 champion until he was dethroned this year by Scott Frazier with his dad, Rick Frazier, in that green, what I call booger 007 Midget, or MG Little People. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that.
Fraser, Leninus and Kronkel. Chima in the top 10, Fraser just behind there, Nicholas in 12th position. Further down, Darrow, Tennell and Gelpy. That was the man in the Jaguar I mentioned. Mr. Gelpy.
Look at this battle right here between Cliff Murray and James Shart. Because you got to think that Corvair, it just looks like it has a ton of body roll, a lot more weight. It's not as aerodynamic as that Devon Porsche. But James Shart knows how to wheel these things around, and the good thing about a Corvair is you can make them really wide around corners and difficult to pass.
Yeah, because they're boxy looking, they look unwieldy, and as you say, they look as though they've got a lot of roll to them. But like you say, however they've set them up, they're pretty handy and nimble, especially against these smaller cars.
Yeah, if you know Ralph Nader, please send him the link to this video.
Okay.
For those who don't know, he wrote a book called The Corvair, Unsafe at Any Speed.
That's true.
Look at Rob Davenport coming here looking at Vic Skurmans. Vic Skurmans is always fast. And a neat story about Vic Skurmans. He's been racing here for over 30 years. He met his wife, Barbara, here, who's here with him this weekend. She's always here. He's always paddocked. There he goes, Rob Davenport on the inside of Vic. And Vic also got engaged here to Barbara. So Mid-Ohio, lots of history with our drivers.
Romance in the woods, huh?
So we got sentimental right here in this shot. That's Rob Davenport's dad's car in that Datsun. And then Vic Skurmans, he's an SCCA national champion in that car. There's Paul Conkle right there in that MGB. Oh, we got a Porsche into the grass. Stay out. Oh, I don't like to see cars try to save it and come back across, but that was a pretty good save there.
I don't want to see a classic Porsche get hurt.
No, that's such a pretty car.
Terry Tennell at the wheel doing a very good job in the 356B of holding on to it there on the grass, because I would have thought it's pretty nasty out there. We had a lot of wet weather yesterday, and if you get on the dirt and grass, it's going to be wet out there and very slippery.
There's Paul Conkle right there in that MGB, all the way from California. Dave Nicholas right there in the yellow MGA. Rick Frazier in the 007 Booger. He should be James Bond, right? Derek Chima in that number 9 midget. Those are just really fast cars. They're just tiny little wheelbase cars, almost like the Austin Mini, with a front engine rear wheel drive setup, but they're really fun, fast cars. That was basically the Miata of today.
So just over 12 minutes, so plenty still to go in this race. So plenty of racing still to come from this race. The field's spreading out somewhat, as we can see the leaders now again. And it is Dernishek and Sharp heading down through the first corner. Cliff Murray still in 3rd place. Then comes the Datsun of Rob Davenport. Through goes Vic Skurmans in the Porsche 356. And as you say, a host of midgets and MGs following on.
Yeah, and I love the MGs. This is the group that got me into racing. This Group 1, Group 3. I love British sports cars. There's a lot of drivers here from Zapata Racing in Nashville, Tennessee, and that's the guys that brought me into racing, so I owe them everything. Charlie Cates is out there in this group right now in a Datsun. Carl George and David Conrad joined us, but I don't see them out there. They drive MGs, so they may have never started. You never know what you're going to get with a British car. You just never know if it's going to start or not.
That little 55 is a pretty little thing, isn't it?
Yeah, that Spitfire. I love the Triumph Spitfires. Anything British, I love it. But that white Jaguar out there, I have a love affair with that car.
Derek Chima in the MG midget, just going through on the inside of turn 4, but not close enough to make the overtake in this battle for 3rd place.
I think Bruce Revenau is the bravest person out there to be out there in a Formula Junior, that Lotus. If you're here on site or you ever get a chance, go look at his Lotuses in his trailer, at his paddock. They look like Concours winning show cars, but he's out there racing it, and that's what I love about these guys' preparation. They want to drive these cars fast. Also, looking good is just as important.
Oh, of course, absolutely. You got to look good when you're going racing.
Yeah, and the other thing I want to point out in vintage racing, I think in motorsports everybody kind of assumes people are cheating, but I want to point out in this field there are a lot of people that go through a lot of painstaking agony and spending a lot more money to make sure that they're racing the car exactly as it was back in the day. As we watch 2 equally matched Yanko Stingers coming down.
I was about to say, are these the same year? I'm guessing they are.
I don't know, but
they look very similar. Yanko Stingers, both of them, and they look very evenly matched, that's for sure. Side by side into turn 4 from the overtake for the lead. And he's done it.
James Sharp right there taking the inside line over Logan. Logan's going to try to come back, but Logan's got the outside line of a very difficult turn. But if he can stay on the outside, he's set up for the next turn.
Go on,
and he's got it right now. Look at that.
It's lovely.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's some of the best display of driving.
Still at it.
2 guys that know each other so well, James Sharp, Logan Dernishek, and they are just having the time of their lives right now.
Here we go, down through Thunder Valley then, and can they do it again before the carousel, I wonder? They've spread out a little bit, but that was great. Side by side for 3 corners as we look down at these fantastic shots from the drone. Live here, around the world here, Greenlight Television doing a brilliant job of bringing us all the shots live here for SVRA.
And here's kind of a little bit further back, Rob Davenport, Vic Skurmans coming into the carousel. Watch how Vic can go through this carousel so fast. As we go back to turn one, Logan Dernoshik back in the lead. His dad, Warren, cheering him on. Of course, I said Warren used to build Yanko Stingers and race Yanko Stingers back in the day, and now here is his son in the lead at Mid-Ohio.
Yeah, keep an eye on the second place man, because 17's really got a really good job of building up to make the overtake, and now he's got enough time to do it again. So we should have another good battle at the front before the end of this race. And this is really holding up nice. Vic Skurmans heading through in the Burgundy Porsche 356. And just behind him, Scott Fraser in the Austin Healey Sprite.
Yeah, that's Paul Conkle right there in that beautiful MGB all the way out from California. Followed by Bruce Revenow in that Formula Junior. Looks like Paul's giving him all the room. He's saying, basically what he's saying there, Paul, you wouldn't normally give somebody that much room, but he's saying, I see you. A lot of those guys in the Formula cars, when they race with the fendered cars, they just want to know that the driver sees them. Paul did the right thing to say, I see you, please take the line, I'm giving it to you, and that's great respect from Paul Conkle. Dave Nicholas following him right there in his beautiful MGA. Kevin out there doing a ton of work with our Triumphs this weekend.
It's a tiny car, isn't it? It looks like you pick it up.
Yeah, yeah, so here it is right here. A Group 3, Group 1 battle. Paul Conkle in the MGB. This is basically a battle of innovation because it went from the MGA to the MGB. British race cars right here. In my opinion, there's very few cars prettier than the MGA. It's kind of the poor man's Jaguar.
Yeah, it's a good way of looking at it.
And then there's what I call Kermit the Frog Eye Sprite, the happiest car in our group.
Yep.
Scott Frazier, Group 1 champion from 2019. And look at this. I hope we can get a shot of this red Alpha.
Yeah, that's a pretty car.
That is a beautiful car. That is a gold medallion car, meaning it's set up just as it was. Rob Davenport right there in the number 20 Datsun, about to take third place if he can. And he went through painstaking, a ton of money, a ton of time and research to set up that car exactly as it was. But look at that beautiful
Go back to
Alpha.
that gold medallion. What do you mean when you say that?
Gold medallion means that it is a certified car. Rick Parent, our guru there in tech, he looks at the cars. They give a ton of paperwork, pages and pages of very nerdy, detailed paperwork to say, I went through a ton of work to set the car up exactly as it was or should be, and that Alpha definitely fits the bill. It doesn't get much better than that.
So this is the forerunner to the current Giulietta, you could say, because it is a Giulietta, but it's back in the day Giulietta. So that's, you could argue that that's what the modern day Giulietta is based on.
Yeah, definitely. And look at this right here. You've got what looks like a shingle out there in that Devon Porsche, just no drag, being chased by what is a Datsun, almost a brick, and Rob's catching him. But then you've got that 356 of Vic Skurmans, who probably has more laps in Mid-Ohio than anybody out there.
5 minutes to go in this race, and it's still a great battle up the front between the two Corvairs. But as you can see, battles all the way through the field, and we're getting a good at every one of the different cars here, and it's great to see so many different cars, different marks, different makes, and different years represented. A little bit of a
Cliff
lock
Murray
up there.
locks up his right front coming in. Is he showing a sign of weakness to Rob Davenport and Vic Skurmans?
Just a slight mistake. Flesh wound, as they say in Monty Python. Nothing there.
Tis but a flesh wound.
Tis but a flesh wound.
Look at that, though. That is a pretty Devon. And look at his little scoop at the front, trying to divert the air. That's just so.
Up towards the keyhole then, with time running out, 5 minutes to go in this race. This is a good battle in this freeway.
Outside. Is Rob brave enough? Rob Davenport, Louisville, Kentucky. Is he brave enough to take this outside line? Because that may open up the door for Vic Skurmans to come inside.
Well, actually, he's got good drive now. If he
Do
can
the
turn it tight,
over-under.
yeah, over-under, and get some good pace down the back straight. In the number 20 Datsun, here he goes. Has he got the drive? I don't think he has, you know.
No, I think he's just punching too big a hole in the air. He's going to really have to outbrake Cliff here.
Into turn 4 they go then. Wasn't able to make it happen. Still time yet in this race. But at the front, it's still Dernoshek and Sark going head-to-head. They have an 8-second lead over third-place man. And that third-place man is Cliff Murray. Then it's Rob Davenport, Vic Skurmans in the Porsche 356. And high above this Mid-Ohio circuit,
Let's go to our helicopter reporter. Jonathan, your cousin up there?
Yeah, this is Bob up in the helicopter. Yeah, it's a little misty right down there, Bob, but yeah, no, I think it's going to be a nice day. But right here, this is looking good from where we're at.
Yeah, thanks for that report. It's great. Oh, look at this. Here's Charlie Cates, Todd Cruz. Todd Cruz looks like he might be coming in as a
lock up again.
mechanical.
He just locks up again.
Yeah, Todd Cruz coming in. That's unfortunate. His mechanic Mitch is going to have some work to do. Charlie Cates in that Datsun gives the guys plenty of room to get by. Thank you, Charlie. Charlie was our Group 3 winner a couple of years ago, champion, as he lets Rob Davenport come by, giving him plenty of room, which is what we like to see from our lap traffic.
So we'll get 2 laps out of this one. The Datsun popping out again as they head towards the keyhole. He didn't have the front last time out to swing shot round the outside. He might try it again this time. He's a little bit closer. Or will he turn back in again as he did before? Well, he's trying around the outside. Oh, he's probably let himself out.
Yeah, oh man, nice driving from Rob Davenport and Cliff Murray right there. Cliff held his line, gave him the room, and basically said, if you can hold it, you can take it.
Yeah.
Rob just couldn't hold it.
Well, and Skurmans just behind them. They take both of them if they keep battling this way.
I think that's what Skurmans is doing. I know Vic really well. I think
trying.
he's watching and just holding it back. Yeah, watch this.
Here we go. Again, he's on the outside, but he's keep trying to do the switchback. It's just not getting the power to get alongside him. And this is good defensive driving by the 72.
Yeah, but that Devon Porsche, if you know anything about Porsches, they're about balance and brakes, and I think he just has a little bit, I think he can brake a little bit deeper than Rob, and Rob is just trying to put the power down. It's all about just waiting for Cliff Murray to make a mistake in that Devon Porsche.
High above Thunder Valley then, coming down to the closing stages. Here come the leaders into the carousel, and the lead now has dramatically changed in terms of the distance between Dernischek, who crosses the line now, and the gap is 4 or 5 seconds now. So the 17's quest to try to win this one is pretty much over, but the Corvair on its way to victory. White flag is out.
Is it? I didn't see the white flag.
No.
We show a last lap thing, and they're not showing that.
Okay.
So this is Logan Dernischek right here. Great shot. Look at how cool that car is.
You know, I had a look at that car last night when we were doing the Triumph stuff, and it's beautifully prepared. The paintwork is absolutely awesome.
Yeah, he was with us at Sebring, and he and his dad really put a lot of time and effort in that car. You know, that's a piece of their family legacy right there that he's driving around. They just love it, and that's what it is about vintage racing. Logan's a really good driver. He's got a lot of racing experience in his past and all kinds of things. But to him, he wants to win the race, but I think even more than that is preserve his family legacy. So notice those flaps in the rear. That's bringing air down to this weird Corvair engine that's at the back behind the wheels that has a belt that's drawing the fan that's in a 90-degree angle. And I've actually seen Corvair guys come in with a belt in their hands, knock it on the roof, and a guy, while the car is running, put the belt back on, which is not recommended. You can lose fingers that way.
Yeah.
But they've done it so many times that while the engine is running, the guy can put the belt on, he knocks on the roof, and the guy's back out quicker than a NASCAR tire change.
That's wild. Absolutely wild. Yeah, it's an interesting, the front looks like an old BMW. The back, you can't work out. And I was wondering what those flaps were for, but thank you for the explanation.
Yeah, so the air comes off of that rear window straight into the engine bay, like an old Porsche, you know, air cooling the engine.
Yeah, really cool.
I think that was, for a while, I think Chevy thought, well, let's try to make a Porsche.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now we are seeing the last lap board, so we're on the way now for Logan Dernischek. There's the second place man. Across the line now.
I really appreciate the shots we're getting today. We're getting to see the whole field, all the drivers, because in vintage racing, it's all about just these packs of cars that are racing each other, especially in these mixed groups. But we're really getting to see some fantastic cars today on this live stream.
Yeah, and if you want to learn more, we've got a brand new app now on SVRA. Trans Am also have a similar one, Android and Apple. You can download it, it's free of charge. But I'll tell you what, it's worth its weight in gold because there's so much stuff there. All the results, all the features, some historic stuff from JJ O'Malley, who's our historian. Some great, interesting facts and figures about how many years we've raced here at Mid-Ohio and what's been here before. And, of course, the live stream, the most important part, to come in and join us as the Jaguar XK comes out of the carousel and past our commentary position. As
Hopefully
we
we get a shot of
high.
this. Look at this. Here's two of the prettiest cars in the field that Logan Dernoshik's about to pass. This Maserati and this Alfa Romeo. Maserati has the white stripe. Beautiful car.
But we are watching the closing stages. This is the final lap then of
Look at that.
Group 1, Group 3 and Group 4. Race 2, and he does go around the outside and into the carousel for the last time. And whoa, gets a wiggle on.
Giving a little show.
Yep, putting the show on. Almost did his donuts before the checkered flag. But he takes the checkered flag and wins in style. And he wins by a country mile. Here comes second place out of the complex and over the line.
Let's see if Rob can take it.
And that's this great three-way battle for third place. Excellent stuff. And it's Cliff Murray who does hold on in the Model D Porsche ahead of Rob Davenport, who takes the Datsun to fourth position. Skermans in the Porsche 356. Well, there he is. In the number 70. Does finish in the end in fifth place. Scott Fraser in sixth. Bruce Ravenau in seventh place.
But I want to say in this mixed group, so it's Scott Fraser first in class, Group 1.
Sure.
Bruce Ravenau second in class, followed by Dave Nicholas in that yellow MGA in Group 1, which means they're just smaller bore race cars. He's waving. He's waving with all fingers, too. That's rare for Dave Nicholas. That's good stuff. Means he had a good race.
Well, as we wind down our Group 1, 3 and 4 feature race, coming up next, it's Group 9. Their feature race coming up, and once again, that should be a cracker. That one's coming up. Local time, 11:05, roughly. We're a couple of minutes over time, but roughly speaking, in the next 10 minutes, we'll have more racing to come. My thanks to Ben Stitzel again. And another run into yesteryear as SVRA shows off its cars, and we have many more to come. Stay with us here on the Speed Tour. We've got more action coming very soon. Hey race fans, it's the start of a brand new decade, so don't be on the outside looking in. Straddle the technology fence with us and be part of all the action at every round of the 2020 season. With our all-new app, you'll now have live global streaming of all the action from the heart of each and every track. Live scoring, race highlights, replays, results and team and driver news. Everything you could ever want to be informed of the world of Trans Am and SVRA. Download now on Apple and Android, the only place to get your muscle car media.
I found a place in my heart.
The Range Rover Evoque.
What if they sold tires online?
We do. We're TireRack.com.
They could offer lots of tires and help you find the right tire.
It's called the Tire Decision Guide.
Oh, and they could ship them to a nearby mechanic.
We shipped over 7,000 independent recommended installers.
This is an amazing idea. Sorry.
Visit TireRack.com/Pirelli to find the full line of Pirelli tires. Pirelli, power is nothing without control. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
In full camo, with a pre-mounted optic and every feature you could ever want in a turkey gun, nothing can stop it. Except maybe the end of turkey season. The new V3 Turkey Pro from Remington.
When the finish line calls, we answer. Hit the road with insurance protection from Hagerty. Whether you drive a built racer, sports car, or exotic, and save an average of $264. Get a quote today at Hagerty.com.
There's a challenging spirit within Honda. It gives us the courage to go faster, and the thinking to make it real. Whether it looks like a truck, a sedan, or an SUV, inside is the heart of a race car.
Hey race fans, it's the start of a brand new decade, so don't be on the outside looking in. Straddle the technology fence with us and be part of all the action at every round of the 2020 season. With our all-new app, you'll now have live global streaming of all the action from the heart of each and every track. Live scoring, race highlights, replays, results and team and driver news. Everything you could ever want to be informed of the world of Trans Am and SVRA. Download now on Apple and Android, the only place to get your muscle car media.
Everywhere I look, I see light and shape. And some shapes are just more beautiful than others.
I think about lots of things when I drive. The cost of scheduled maintenance certainly isn't one of them.
The F-Pace.
How Jaguar makes an SUV.
For great offers, visit your Jaguar retailer during the Impeccable Timing sales event.
Maui Jim sunglasses were born on the beaches of Hawaii, designed to respond to the bright sun and harsh glare of the islands, all while enhancing the view. After 30 years, we're still independently owned, and the free-thinking Hawaiian spirit that first inspired us is still a part of everything we do. Our Polarized Plus 2 lenses not only protect eyes from harmful rays, they also make colors more vivid and contrast crisper. Try on a pair and see for yourself. The view's better from here.
A marathon coach owner is someone who expects exploration and relaxation to blend flawlessly. For the most reliable, luxurious motor coach on the market today, look no further than Marathon Coach. Indulge that wanderlust, leave any cares behind, and lead a life filled with adventure. Join the Marathon family and take your 5-star hotel with you.
When the finish line calls, we answer. Hit the road with insurance protection from Hagerty, whether you drive a built racer, sports car, or exotic, and save an average of $264. Get a quote today at Hagerty.com.
There's a challenging spirit within Honda. It gives us the courage to go faster and the thinking to make it real. Whether it looks like a truck, a sedan, or an SUV, inside is the heart of a race car.
Now they can say the reason I'm not going to your wedding is because I'm at this race, but you can watch it.
Yeah. You know. And I also think that you're absolutely right. Having done Monaco with an historian, and of course Monaco was fantastic because it was just, I mean, we went from 1933 Bentleys all the way up to Michele Alboreto, you know, Eddie Irvine, whatever.
How do we know when we're on? When we need to shut up and call the race?
Standing by. Now you can see something quite different coming out of the pit lane here at Mid-Ohio. We've got some more modern but still historic single-seaters at your disposal, heading towards the keyhole as they go on their warm-up and tyre warming lap. Now we've got quite a combination of Formula Masters, Indy Lights. It's all out there, isn't it? This is a really interesting Group 9 group of cars.
It really is. Like right there, Sebastian Coppola in that Formula 5000, and he actually kind of helps to run this Formula 5000 group in vintage racing. He's also racing a Ferrari with us in International GT. But the one cool thing about this group also is the age range is just as diverse as the cars. We have some drivers out there that are 16 years old, and we have some drivers out there that are just a few years older.
Just officially, to give you the full spec, it's Group 9 wings and slits Formula cars complying to SVRA post-1973 Formula car regulations, and that's Formula 1, Indy Lights, Formula 5000, as you mentioned, Formula 2, Formula Atlantic, Formula B at 1600s, and Formula Super V, again, 1600s, but air and water-cooled, Formula Continental, and Formula 3 cars. So it's a real look at the history of Formula racing. And it's interesting that Formula 1, Formula 2, and Formula 3 now still exist in their modern iterations. Of course, Formula 2 went away for a while, but back in the 50s and 60s, Formula 2, in fact, the Formula 1 drivers used to drive both of a weekend, Formula 2 and Formula 1 cars, and sometimes different weekends. So you'd see someone like John Surtees, race several different cars, or a Sterling Moss or whatever, over a period of a year. Lining up then for the Group 9 race, feature race. Real array of really interesting Formula cars. As the pace car comes off, we're racing here at Mid-Ohio. 2x2. And they just blip the throttle as they dive under the bridge. That's a lovely looking car, that number 12. That's Sebastian Coppola in the Lola T192.
Look at that, James Johnson takes the keyhole over Rob Radman. This is some really good racing right here. He's going to try to duck in behind him. Rob, I think, is the racer that's out there that's 16 years old. James Johnson is really going to try to take the lead here. And Rob Radman's out here just trying to get some laps, trying to get some experience, but he's looking for a career in racing.
You know, it's interesting. Only in the last sort of decade have I seen youngsters actually choosing historic racing as a way to learn racing. It's cheaper, and I think it's more interesting. You've got more people to help you. There isn't that angst of being up against a bunch of 15 and 16-year-olds. People want to help you, and I think your development as a racing driver comes through. And I've seen a few drivers actually take to historic racing, and then some of them even stay for their whole career.
We had James French and his father with us last weekend at Road America racing vintage Formula 1 cars that are actually faster than current Formula 1 cars at Road America, and he got a ride in a professional series out in Europe from vintage racing.
Yeah. And there's some pretty handy guys now in vintage racing all around the world.
And the beauty of it, like you said, is these guys that are now racing with Rob, they're willing to help him. They're not competitors. They are maybe on the track, but off the track, all they want to do is help him. But there's my favorite right there, Tom Freilich in that March Super V. And Tom has had some problems. He's back there in the black number 10. He broke a stub axle this weekend, and then his mechanic, Dan and Tom, worked last night to put a new head in. A screw came off their butterfly and went into the engine. They had to take the head off. So he's had a go of it, but I love that car, and I have to give a shout-out to Maryland. If we get a close-up of that car, the paint scheme and the font of the numbers, I just love the look of it. And Maryland designed the car.
You know, it's interesting looking at that second-place Pro Mazda car, the red Rob Radman car. You wouldn't look at it and say, oh, that's an historic car. It looks very modern, and it is pretty modern. But now that Mazda are no longer part of the road to Indy officially, it's now probably going to go up in word and be more of an interesting car, given that it's not now in a modern iteration.
Yep. And we just got a great shot there of Tom Freilich coming over the hills. Beautiful car. Great driver. Actually, I'll tell you a funny story. I met Tom. He came up to me because I do all the video and social media stuff for SVRA. He came up to me after a race and said, hey, you do the video? And I said, yeah. You need to put more Group 9 and Formula cars in your videos. I will. That's awesome. I love the feedback. So please leave feedback on our Facebook, YouTube. What do you want to see? Where are you watching from? And who are you rooting for?
Or give us some stories to tell.
Exactly.
That's Rob Barlow in the other Mazda Pro Formula. Meanwhile, the 72 of James Johnson Jr., JJJ. This is the battle for third place. And each race about 20 minutes. We've got about 15 minutes left in this race, so a good amount of laps to still come from this Group 9 race.
Man, that looks fast, doesn't that?
Yeah, it sounds great, doesn't it?
Yeah. I love, when I tell my friends about vintage racing and tell them these are just guys out there having fun, total amateurs. Most of them are professionals in business or in their personal life that come out here. This is just for the fun of racing, but yet these amateurs are racing at speeds faster sometimes than they were in the day because of new tire technology and brake technology and things like that.
Yeah, for those not familiar with motorsport per se, or just casual watchers, when we say amateur, it's kind of it's a wide phrase, because you can be an amateur soccer player or an amateur basketball player and just play one-on-one, but when you're playing these things, you got to be pretty darn close to being professional, because there's no difference. It's the same cars, the same power, it's the same skills.
Yeah, and we're racing wheel to wheel. I think a lot of people think that vintage racing might be old cars doing parade laps, but it is not. These guys are racing just as they would in any other series, except we do not let them, we do not encourage bumping or trading paint, because this is, you know, there's no money involved in this. They're not winning any prize money. So some of these guys are spending a lot of money to win a $12 medal, and it's not about the winning. You know, they're just out there to have a great time. These guys are all really close friends in all these groups. They help each other out. They hate to lose to one another, but then after that, they, you know, whoever wins, I'm in a group that whoever wins has to buy everybody else Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, there you go. There's your prize. Yeah. A night out at Cracker Barrel. This is shooting into a really good race between these two. Look at the size of difference in there. Oh, great move. Oh, that was superb. Almost made it out of the Honda bridge and into the S's, down through Thunder Hill. He's going to make a move now. It is Rob Radman. He's getting radical.
He sure is. You know, I've been really impressed watching Rob. He was with us last weekend at Road America, and here he comes to Mid-Ohio. He's got a great team and a crew. His family's out here supporting him. Looks like he's going to take a wide line into the carousel to hopefully build up some speed into turn one.
Here they come past our commentary position and away past another lap. Down the main straight at Mid-Ohio, it's Johnston and Radman, wheel to wheel. Third place isn't even in the picture, 9 seconds behind. And will he pop out now? We zoom in, but still nothing. There we come. Here's the battle for third place.
The other Johnstons. So we got 3 Johnstons right now, and Rob Radman's the only thing keeping them from a podium, a full Johnston podium.
Yes, that would be pretty instant. Johnston and Johnson.
And there we go. There's my favorite right there, Tom Freilich in the Super V from Key West, Florida to Mid-Ohio. That's quite a trek. Thank you, Tom and Marilyn, for making the trek and helping out our show here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course.
5th in the 9F3 class overall, and currently 6th overall of the race. Wow, coming through, shot in 6th place. I like the look of that too, the number 45 of Alan Matratz in the Super V. I do like that car, I must admit. A mini Formula One car of the 70s, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's neat. So there's a good shot right there that, you know, people talk about a straightaway, but you can kind of see the rolling hills at Mid-Ohio just in that little bit.
I think that's the attractive part, is the fact that it's, you know, dotted around the woods here in Mid-Ohio, but also you don't really see the undulations as much. But that's what makes it such a good viewing track, is that you can see all the hills are built up round, so everybody's got a good vantage point. I went around the track yesterday, just around the inside of the track, to get some view, but it's all banked all the way along here, and you can see really good views everywhere you go. Through Thunder Valley and then into the carousel. Beautiful shot of the carousel there, high and above. And then just to the right of that is the main paddock, and you can see how far it stretches out into the fields.
Look at this fight for first.
I know, it's
a really good fight for first with James Johnston out front. I don't think Rob Radman's gotten by him technically yet. He's gotten beside him. I think Rob is just kind of biding his time, waiting for something to happen. Looks like he tried to duck inside here. But this is just good racing. Rob has really good car control right now. He's putting the car wherever he wants. I think just trying to fill up
He's going to go for it again! And he's done it this time, has he?
Wow, what a great pass by Rob Radman.
Well, he tried it earlier and he didn't quite pull it off, but I think he's done it this time, and that was a fantastic move up the hill through the S's and out of the Honda bridge to take the lead. Fantastic stuff by Radman.
Yeah, as we watch Brett Johnson and James Johnston Jr. Now Rob Radman, there he is in the front. And now James Johnston is now looking for his opportunity to make this new driver of Rob Radman make a mistake.
I think Johnston's quicker in a straight line, but as you saw through the twisty S's, that Radman's able to just dive there and get on the torque earlier.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just a more lighter, nimble car.
Yeah,
now
but
let's see if
now
he
we
gets
got
into
a
the
draft.
keyhole. Yeah,
so
let's have a look. Johnston not close enough this time into the keyhole. He looks down the inside. Oh, he does! Oh, that was superb. So, classic racing here. And we've got David and Goliath, so somewhat.
Look at that. Look at how equally matched they are back on the power. And I think Rob Radman just was looking in his mirrors, missed his braking point just a little bit, opened up the door for him, and then tried to get alongside. Now, if he can stay side by side in that line,
he'll do a switchback. He'll do a switchback now. Watch this. Yep. He'll go around the outside. Look at that.
Oh, my goodness.
Perfect spurt. Little spurt there. I knew he was going to do that. You could see he was lining himself up. He went to the outside, didn't try to go around the outside, and then did the switchback, got along the power early. Nicely done to take the lead again. Now, can Johnston come back at him? He needs this Thunder Valley straight to get back on level turns into the carousel, get good drive out of the carousel, and back into turn one again. But look, already Radman pulling away down Thunder Hill. Thunder Valley.
He's getting a pretty big lead right now. But I think James Johnston is trying to just kind of build himself back up, collect himself a little bit, because that was quite a hairy lap just then. And he's going to try to make that move going down into turn 4. I don't think he's close enough yet to try to make anything at keyhole unless Bradley.
I don't know, you say that. Point. Last time out he made it stick, and at keyhole again as they come, he's getting a little bit of a draft. He's going to try and pop out to the inside as he did last time. Is he going to do it? Yes! So he's got the making of him, but if he holds the line, and then Radman will try and come back at him at 4. Back to the battle for third. That's just as good, you know. And that is battle between Brett Johnston and James Johnston Jr.
Johnstons are making up a third of this race group right now, so we really appreciate the Johnstons for coming out in the red and white livery cars to really give a great show.
Turn 4, now last time he got round the outside. He's not going to get it this time. He looks to the inside this time, but he's not going to get all the way around the outside. He has to switch back.
Over under.
And now does he get... No, he's trying a different move. He went on the inside last time, but this time through the S's, he's learned a little bit, has Johnston. And now holds the lead again. What a great battle this has been.
Yeah, great drone for the cheer down through Thunder Valley with these two cars. James Johnston in the lead just over Rob Radman, but I think now they've changed the lead 4 or 5 times throughout this race as we come to kind of the late stages of this race. And I'm wondering about Rob Radman's, he takes a really late apex to set him up for this left-hander, and I wonder if he's seeing that that's being an advantage because, you know, obviously James Johnston in the lead is going to take that defensive line, so Rob Radman's trying to take a faster line.
Yeah, and Radman will be almost looking 3 corners ahead, Rob Radman, because he's now setting himself up for the keyhole. He won't make an attempt there, he's not close enough, but he will try to get round the outside for a switchback at turn 4 as he did earlier in the race. It's the drive out of this corner here that makes all the difference. He's just got to stay with Johnston, who's got the more powerful car. Back to the battle for third.
Look at this. Brett Johnston has the lead right now over James Johnston Jr. But James ducks right back behind him. But they're having a great race, just like in vintage racing.
Yeah.
There's great racing throughout the field, and I'm so happy that the camera guys and the directors are picking that up because it's making for a great show today at Mid-Ohio.
Yeah, and these identical Pro Master cars are having a really good fun time out there. Now I want to get back and see whether Radman has managed to make it stick. And there it is, going through the S's. It's still very
Look at
tight.
that.
Great stuff. They're in a world of their own, aren't they? Just totally focused on each other.
Yeah, but I'm watching this race so closely, I'm forgetting to do my job. You know, I'm watching it, like biting my fingernails. You know, I know both of these gentlemen. I'm rooting for both of them just to have a great race. When they get close, I get concerned. We don't want to see any kind of incidents or wheel-to-wheel contact in here, not just for vintage racing, but also just for their health and well-being, and so that they can be racing with us more, because they're such a great show here for the crowd in Mid-Ohio.
About 3 laps to go here, and a timing of just over 4 minutes around the outside of the keyhole.
He's going to take a late apex maybe, try to do an over-under.
No, he's just setting himself up to get as close to the back of Johnston as they go into 4 as he can. And this is where he loses out. He's not going to draft him. And that battle for third place has kind of dissipated somewhat as Brett Johnston pulling away now from the 72 of James Johnston Jr. And he's got himself, what, 3 car lengths now as they head towards the keyhole. Lifts the throttle down through the gearbox. Second now up to third on the exit. and then flat out down the back straight. Through the gearbox and into that very fast left-hander, Robert below. 5th overall in the number 38 Formula Master Pro Formula Master car.
That's a good-looking car.
Yep.
I like these Formula Mazda cars. That's a rough area. Coming out of the keyhole there, you can notice all the different divots out there. You can see where the grading of the track has taken place. And as the track wears in throughout the weekend, some of these turns get rougher and rougher. Now they're coming up on lap traffic for the lead here.
Yeah, this is where it's going to get interesting. In fact, Johnson's done a good job of pulling away from the second place man. But will the traffic make any difference, I wonder? Not this time.
I keep watching this, Jonathan, and looking, is this a DRS zone? Can he open up a spoiler here? That doesn't exist in vintage racing yet.
No, not yet. It's going to be a few years before we get DRS, and I don't think they'll instigate it there. I think it's too much trouble.
Ooh, and this lap traffic is right where Rob Radman doesn't want it to be, but he graciously gives that back. Thank you very much. Nice job, Michael Hummel.
Just noticing the crowd there at the back. We're getting a really good crowd here this afternoon. Coming up, it's going to be a big afternoon, I think, of racing. It's just getting past 11:30 in the morning. I think it's afternoon already. We've been here for a few hours already.
Yeah, time flies when you're having fun, right?
Exactly.
And I want to thank the Mid-Ohio crowd. They only had about 4 days' notice to come out today once Governor DeWine opened it up for spectators with social distancing. So this is a bigger crowd than we expected. But Mid-Ohio always has the best crowds. There's such a great culture here. Look at this, Tom Frelick's coming under threat now by the number 45 of Alan Matrot. This is going to be a good race right here into the keyhole.
Yeah, this is the battle for 6th place. It is a close, good one. Into the keyhole they come. Up to the inside of the 45. Gets a little swirly, but he gets it. Just needs to hold it tight. Yeah, nicely done. And through goes the number 45 of Alan Matrat.
And I think that was a good move by Tom, noticing that he just has better brakes, a newer car, a little bit faster.
But loses out of the straight.
Goes in the corner, but then Tom's got the power, because that thing's called a Super V for a reason.
Yeah, he really did blow by him again, didn't he? Now, under braking again, this is where he'll catch up. Number 45, the all black and gold. And another good battle just behind them. Oh, no, that's the leaders.
That's the leaders right there. So the leaders are coming up on fast lap traffic. And, in these different classes of racing, it gets kind of hairy. And then here's the other Johnstons.
Well, and interesting enough, have they not swapped places? No, it is Brett. No, it's still Brett Johnson leading James Johnson, yeah. For third.
James Johnson Jr. James Johnston is currently in the lead.
I declare Johnston the winner.
Could be a Johnston podium, 2 of the 3.
You're Johnson to me. Or Johnson to me. Blue flag out. Last lap board is also out.
Last lap, there's our leaders coming up on fast lap traffic. And let's see how they sort this out as James Johnston is coming up on Tom Frelick. Tom Frelick's just running his line in vintage racing. You are supposed to run your line, and it's up to the person passing to make a good move and a safe move to pass.
Now, can Radman get on equal turns? He might be able to get a draft here, But the car, Frelick just went a little too wide for him to get stuck on behind him. Now he's coming alongside, and he's got quite a gap to catch up as Radman. This is the final lap. It's the Swift 014 Atlantic leading the way. There it is, the 73A of James Johnson up against Rob Radman in the Mazda Pro Mazda. And I just don't think he's close enough. That's where he made one of his overtakes, and like you say, several different leaders, but both of these two, I should say, have led several different times, but it's been mostly about James Johnson, and as they come through Thunder Valley for the last time, I think he's got this. You can see the gap, some 5 car lengths before they come to the ball with the carousel, and as long as he doesn't make a mistake here, he's got this.
I gotta say, knowing vintage racers, even if you're coming in second place there, with such a great race like that, that was such a victory that there was no contact, a clean race side by side, And I bet you Rob Radman is just as happy about that race as James Johnston, because they just had the time of their lives out there.
Yeah, good racing and good fair clashes between them. And in comes the 72, that's James Johnson Jr. as they finish off their battle for third place. And that was another good little tussle for the full 20 minutes. But in the end, Brett Johnson does hold on to take third ahead of James Johnson Jr. Robert Blau will take fifth place, and Tom Freilich, who we saw earlier. But there's your winner in the Toyota Atlantic. That was a good skill set, because the more nimble Pro Mazda car had him on the slower corners, but he was wise about when to race and when not. And in the end, it's paid dividends for him. So great racing from Mid-Ohio in our speed tour of Mid-Ohio, and plenty of... Where else are we going, Brainerd? We've got Virginia. We've
got, Virginia International Raceway, Road Atlanta, Lime Rock, Watkins Glen.
Oh, all the classics.
Circuit of the Americas. We don't go to a bad circuit.
Circuit of the Americas. Heard of that?
That's your home track?
It's my home track. Yeah, fantastic place. If you've not been, definitely go. Great for two wheels, great for four wheels, great for historics, great for Trans Am, I may add. And Mark Miller was superb around there last year. So we look high above Mid-Ohio. We're between Columbus and Cleveland, just a few miles away from Mansfield, Ohio. So that concludes our Group 9 race. We'll be back with more action from Mid-Ohio in a few minutes.
Hey race fans, it's the start of a brand new decade, so don't be on the outside looking in. Straddle the technology fence with us and be part of all the action at every round of the 2020 season. With our all-new app, you'll now have live global streaming of all the action from the heart of each and every track. Live scoring, race highlights, replays, results, and team and driver news. Everything you could ever want to be informed of the world of Trans Am and SVRA. Download now on Apple and Android, the only place to get your muscle car media. On behalf of SVRA, we'd like to congratulate Range Rover on its 50th anniversary, and we thank Jaguar Land Rover for their continued support over the years.
Keeping your pride and joy perfect is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Start with Slick Mist Speed Wax. Simply mist on and wipe off for a professional detailer shine. For your tires and trim, there's Lucas Slick Mist Tire and Trim Shine. Spray on and wipe off for better than new look. Then finish her with Lucas Slick Mist Interior Detailer. Just spray and wipe. Easy. Use Lucas Slick Mist Car Care products and she'll never look better. Fast, easy, and professional. Really, it's sort of like having an extra set of hands. Or 3.
I travel a lot. Whether it's a meeting in New York or a car auction in LA, I trust only Passport Transport to deliver my car. With their up-to-the-minute GPS tracking system, I know exactly where my car is at all times. They take the extra step to secure my vehicle's safety, and their pickup and delivery service is truly door-to-door. With Passport Transport, I know my car's in good hands, because they're car guys too. I'm Roger Van Ness, CEO of Kemp Auto Museum, and this is why I'm a Passport Transport customer.
When hours invested become miles enjoyed. Whether you're customizing or building a car from the ground up, Hagerty protects your vehicle with guaranteed value coverage. Get a quote today at Hagerty.com.
There's a challenging spirit within Honda. It gives us the courage to go faster and the thinking to make it real. Whether it looks like a truck, a sedan, or an SUV, inside is the heart of a race car.
Hey race fans, it's the start of a brand new decade, so don't be on the outside looking in. Straddle the technology fence with us and be part of all the action at every round of the 2020 season. With our all-new app, you'll now have live global streaming of all the action from the heart of each and every track. Live scoring, race highlights, replays, results, and team and driver news. Everything you could ever want to be informed of the world of Trans Am and SVRA. Download now on Apple and Android, the only place to get your muscle car media.
I found a place in my heart. I found a light in the dark. I found my heaven.
The Range Rover Evoque.
What if they sold tires online?
We do. We're TireRack.com.
They could offer lots of tires and help you find the right tire.
It's called the Tire Decision Guide.
Oh, and they could ship them to a nearby mechanic.
We shipped over 7,000 independent recommended installers.
This is an amazing idea. Sorry.
Visit TireRack.com/Pirelli to find the full line of Pirelli tires. Pirelli, power is nothing without control. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
In full camo, with a pre-mounted optic and every feature you could ever want in a turkey gun, nothing can stop it. Except maybe the end of turkey season. The new V3 Turkey Pro from Remington.
When the finish line calls, we answer. Hit the road with insurance protection from Hagerty. Whether you drive a built racer, sports car, or exotic, and save an average of $264. Get a quote today at Hagerty.com.
Well, here we go. Now, the big boards. They certainly are boring. This is Group 6. And also in this Group 10, Group 12A. But this is effectively big bore production sports cars and sedans through 1972. So you've got your Shelbys, your Corvettes, your Cobras, your Mustangs, the odd Jaguar. And I think I saw a Cup car out there.
Yeah, that's our Group 10 as the Cup cars and Trans Am car. Right there, that's a TVR, another British car. Out there in Group 6, Jerry Robinson in that Viper. There's one of my favorites, Frank Markham in that Falcon. There's some just really cool cars, a great mix. Now notice this is a little bit different because there's some production cars out there. Then there's cars that look like production cars. Those are the Trans Am or stock cars that are tube frame cars.
Yeah.
And then there's some Cup cars or some NASCAR cars with big wings and slicks. Here comes the Pancho Weaver Boris Said car from just 2 years ago.
I was about to say, I remember that.
Yeah, Decon Monza. You don't see those often. That's basically a little car with way too much horsepower.
I remember that Pancho Weaver car with Boris winning, I think, at Road America.
Road America, yeah, he won a lot of races. And now it's in vintage racing, which is crazy because that could currently still be a leading car in the TA class. A couple of these cars, that Hinkle car up front.
How do you homologate to be vintage at that age?
You go and talk to Rick Parent, our head of tech, and you say, hey, I just bought this, and where can we put it in? And that's what we're doing here.
Okay.
And so there's 3 different classes out here racing, but these cars are pretty equally matched on the track, so that's why they're out there racing like this, because we like to have bigger groups, because not only just for time, but it makes for a better show.
Now, I got confused yesterday because Scott Borchetta was on my scoreboard twice as we look at the Group 6